Hey, it's Carrie from Reseller Revenue, Facebook and Patreon group. I'm just gonna do a regular talking head thing, and today it looks even more so because my lighting's bad and um very reflectively today. So I just kind of want to recap our week that we had in the group and me as a reseller because I don't know, I find it interesting when I hear about other people's weeks. It started off pretty good. Our group was going great. We've been having some great conversations. Monday, we didn't really even hit our topic. We just talked about Q&As and people had some questions. We got them answered. And then Tuesday, we moved right into um, using VAs. I couldn't think of the word VAs. And that kind of was a really interesting topic because I think we could use VAs in lots of different ways to increase our profitability and to, um, utilize buy some of our time back type of thing. And it's just making sure that we pick the right one and that we know all the facts. And I think one of the biggest things that the pitfalls with getting a VA, which is a virtual assistant, for if you don't know, um, is I feel like when people are first starting out or even in the first part of their reselling journey, you might feel kind of stressed out and be like, I need help, I'm drowning, I can't keep up, especially if you got thrown off the deep end and lost a job or something and now all of a sudden are having to depend on this income. But I feel like that's the worst thing you can do at that point, because if you don't have this mastered, how can you teach somebody else how to master it for you, to work for you? And there are some VAs that come trained and, they have eBay experience, they have Vendo experience and that stuff, but we can't trust other people to run our business for us. So if we don't know the ins and outs, how can we check up on them to make sure they're doing the right things? But I think I'm at the point where I could potentially hire a VA and have it, be very good for me. I could use somebody to help me with my social media type of stuff to keep up with that. It's just added extra work that I don't always have time for. I could probably use one for listing if I wanted to. I would always be the one to launch my listings. I'm never trusting somebody else to do my listings. But then when I time myself, I'm doing 25 to 30 in an hour. I'm still going to have to check over everything. Like, how much time is that really going to save me? I don't think that that's where my money's the best. I have about 2,000 listings, maybe 2,500, but I'd like to get cross-posted completely from Vendu. So like Poshmark, Whatnot, Macari, um, Depop, and that's time consuming. So that is something I'm thinking about doing to see if it's profitable for me to do that. But I don't get a lot of sales on those other platforms, but I also don't have the volume over there. So I'm kind of just toying around the idea. If you have any experience with VAs, I'd love to hear it. I have definitely heard some nightmare stories, but I've also heard some people that are super happy with theirs. So I'd love to hear your experience with it and what you think. So this week too has been, I feel like it's like feast or famine around here for, I spend a lot of hours a week sourcing as far as like online or even in person. And I'm working deals constantly, just all the time. And people are always like, how do you find these great deals? Well, they don't just fall out of the sky in my lap. So I'm constantly working deals. And then I'm not great with the emotions part of certain deals when I can tell people are still emotionally attached to jewelry. I really just don't feel right making a deal that's fair to me and fair to them because they're at a place where they feel like things are maybe valued a lot more than what maybe they are. And I don't want to give more money and hurt myself business wise because I feel bad for them or they are thinking differently. And, I don't want to ever feel like I took advantage of someone. And it's just, I just stay away from it when I feel like when I get, so that brings me to a point of you got to get to know your source. So even if you only talk to them for a short period of time, or even if it's over text message or messaging, I would absolutely take time to ask them questions and just get a feel of like, what are they putting their value on? You know, I want to know, like, sometimes they feel like the brooches are worth gold bars, but they don't really care about those bracelets, right? So then in the deal, if you go to counter offer, maybe you make sure that you apply a bigger amount of your offer towards the brooches because you know they feel like they're worth more, even if they aren't. As long as the bottom line comes out the same, it doesn't matter. But when they feel like you're talking their language, I think we just have a better chance with getting a good deal. So right now we're in feast mode. So I haven't been able to find any great lots for a while, and now all of a sudden they're just coming out of the woodwork. I don't have any of them closed yet, so I absolutely don't count them as being done at all, not counting on that inventory at all. Because if there's one thing I know is I can have 10 deals in the works and 0 can work out sometimes. So, and I don't ever push a deal. Like I don't ever force the deal to work because I want the inventory. I'd rather have no inventory than inventory that doesn't make sense with the numbers. So I'm trying very hard to only purchase things and source things that I'm like excited to get listed. If I'm not excited to get them listed and put them in my store, I'm leaving them behind. Leaving them for somebody else. I'm not saying that's bad. I'm not saying it's bad if you do that. For me, that's my business model right now. So, um, we have to be able to walk away from a deal when it doesn't pencil out in numbers. We have to be able to walk away when it's just not working. Sometimes we're not compatible with people we're trying to make a deal with, and that's okay. But we have to have a plan to walk away. I drove 4.5 hours to a deal once, and they were about $1,000 too high. And I gave him my offer, and I meant it. I was ready to go home, not take home anything, and I was okay with my decision. To me, that was a lot better than overpaying $1,000. And we ended up working out the deal fine. They came down to $1,000 because I think they realized I was going to walk. And we can't take those as losses when we have to walk away. In fact, I feel like when we walk away, sometimes we're the biggest winners. I'd much rather walk away from a deal, even if I drove a long ways, than to come home and have to figure out what to do with all the crap. I'm past that. I don't want to sort through a bunch of it. I don't want to deal with a bunch of it. I'm just ready to move on from it. So don't feel like a failure when a deal doesn't come through or when it's the worst when they have great stuff and it's not great. That's the worst because like you see the good stuff. It's exactly what you want. You know where it is. You know how to find it and you just can't meet up on the price. But it's business and we have to be able to say no thank you. I've got to walk away. And just be polite because sometimes the door will reopen later on down the road, but just stick to your guns. Now, here's the biggest thing is I don't know how people go into deals without knowing what that bottom number is, right? So if possible, we need to not let emotions ever get a hold of us and get it caught up in the excitement of grabbing things and buying things. I do that at the flea market sometimes. I feel like I pick up things maybe I shouldn't because I'm just grabbing and trying to get stuff and I'm better at it than I used to be, but I need to get better about it. It used to be if I walked into a flea market or a garage sale or whatever, and there was a whole table full of brooches, I was going to buy all of them if they were like $3 or $4, and it didn't really matter what they were. And now there's sales I go into like that and I walk away with nothing because they just don't meet what I needed to get out of them. So I'm not paying $3 or $4 for something I can sell for, put up for 18 bucks, 20 bucks, but realistically for offers and time, I'm going to probably take 15 or less. That's not working for me anymore. So I've been pretty firm with myself, but I have a bunch of deals in the works. Hopefully, a couple of them work is all I'm hoping for. So, um, it's a game changer when you learn to walk away. So don't feel bad about it. And I was super excited to do my live on Wednesday and talk about that. I was talking about failure and it made me think of it. And turns out technology and me, so I feel like I'm very good with the technology that I use all the time, but you throw me into something new and I get all uncomfortable and then I doubt myself and I tried to do some trial runs. I thought it was fine. It wasn't fine, right? So my tribe showed up for me. So thank you so much for the people did show up for my live. It meant a lot to me. And everybody was so kind about the issues I was having. So it didn't really happen. And I felt kind of defeated, but I'm not letting it get me down. Something I know how to do, it's a Zoom call. So I'm going to be doing some lunch and learns and I'll advertise them as events and you can sign up and just click on the link to get right into the lunch and learn. They will all be free. And I just want to be able to help people and I want them to be able to talk to me and we can do some loose topics or store reviews and things like that. So it'll be just like how when I did the boot camps, there'll just be a link, you click it, you're in the meeting. So I realize that's not cool, like doing a live and stuff, but I'm not cool. So we're all good. Like I stumble with this stuff. It reminds me of Rowdy a couple weeks ago. They do these like group texts, but then I can just see Rowdy's name at the beginning. And I had forgotten that his teacher had sent the text to me and him. So when I sent Rowdy a picture of the cat looking over the computer monitor at me, Rowdy's like, Mom, you just sent that to all my teachers. So I was like, who doesn't like a cat, right? Hard to be offended by a cat. Could have been worse. Could have been a lot worse. Except it was to Rowdy, so it wasn't. But just saying. Uh, Technology isn't great for me sometimes, and I'm working on it, and I'm gonna just roll with what I know for now, and I will continue educating myself on this, live stuff. And I'm not saying it's not gonna happen, but at least we'll be able to get together in Zoom. So watch for those events to be released, and they'll be on my Facebook page. So please go to Reseller Revenue Facebook page. There's a page that's separate from the group that's free to join, and you can get on there. And I love the conversation. Ask questions. I will try to answer them. Give me ideas for calls. Give me ideas for recording, whether it's jewelry or it's an eBay topic, reselling topic, business topic, and I love to hear that. So. Um, the sheep are having babies all over, so now we don't just have one, we have several. Like today, we had that nasty snow go through this week, and the whole farm, it isn't really muddy. There isn't a whole lot, but there's this big puddle in front of the feeder. And of course, she just like dumped her babies there, kind of walked away, went got herself some dry hay or something. And so they were just, like drowning in the puddle. But Rowdy saved them and got them all warm and dry. And so that set of twins was today, and from here on out until they're done, we'll be having probably several a day. So they're actually officially due next week. We had a couple ram lambs get out a little early, so we had some early ones. It wasn't too early and it was fine. So when it gets a little drier out, nicer outside, I will take you guys for a field trip and we'll go see baby lambs. Um, we also are we did our flips and flops on Wednesday, which I love. That's one of my favorite days of the week, is to see what our members have been doing. I think I learned more from the flops than I do the flips, but it's fun to see what everybody's been doing. I'm going to put that video out this week to see everybody's flips and flops, and hopefully you'll enjoy that like I do. Pay close attention to the snakeskin pants because it made me think of this thing that happened to me once, and it's Stacia's snakeskin pants that she talks about in the flips. And it totally made me remember when there was this friend of mine's mom who didn't care for me much. She thought I was, I don't know, a little abrasive and obnoxious, and I probably was. So it was fine. But she had these pants on and I really liked them. And I thought, oh, I'm gonna give her a compliment. I'm gonna get some brownie points because, her daughter's like my best friend. And I was like, hey, I love those pants. And she's like, oh yeah. And I'm like, I love the leather pouches down the leather patches down the side. I would love to have some of those. They're like diamond leather patches down the side. And she turned around, she goes, those are cutouts and that's my leg. And I was like, "Hmm." And then, like, because then all of a sudden, like, I have this like, oh, moment. Then I'm like, oh, well, that reminds me not to lay in the tanning bed more than once a day. And then I was like, oh, so I don't know, she still doesn't like me. But I don't know. I was trying and then I don't know, it just went badly. But think of that when you see Stacia's snakeskin pants, because that's what it made me think of. And then let's see, today we talked about how AI is helping us in our business or hurting us in our business. And there's proof of both ways. I do not like the AI descriptions that we're just like hitting the button and how I'm doing eBay. I feel like a lot of them are misleading. I think they can get us INADs. I just don't like them. I don't buy from people that do it because it shows me you're not really trying to take a hold of your business type of thing. So but that doesn't mean you can't do them. It's just not for me. And the AI is wrong sometimes. So I know when Lynn and I are researching for our jewelry videos, there are lots of times where we will be in there and both of us have had it happen. We'll ask something about a certain designer or a certain piece of jewelry and we'll get two different answers both times. And so we have to watch it. A member had it Chat GPT calculated the wrong spot on gold yesterday. That cost her some money. So we have to be careful with how we use AI. However, I do think AI is here to stay. And so we need to make it a friend. I think they should have like grandma AI or something. Like, I feel like I could do better if they gave me like little prompts. Like, my kid was sitting here telling me, now, mom, if you ask it this way, you'll get this better answer. Or, hey, can you try again and talk like how people talk these days? Or I feel like I could use a little like, um, AI for beginners, because I think sometimes I ask it wrong and then it doesn't know what I'm saying. And it probably does with what lots of people are talking to me are like, they're like, I don't know like what she's talking about. And so I need like a filter for AI to help me out sometimes, but I'm learning and I'm trying. So I use AI to do thumbnails. I use AI to help me with titles on YouTube because I have no idea about certain algorithms. It's stuff I'm not familiar with. So I do use it. I have good results. Some people in our group were talking that they use them for business cards, which was great. I love them for graphics sometimes. see what else do I have? Descriptions and oh, it can also, can really help lead us in the right direction if we're not sure exactly what something is. I'm not saying we should blindly follow it, but it can help us give descriptive words. It can help us find keywords. So just use it knowing that it's not perfect. Probably should get comfortable with it because I think it's here to stay. And it is pretty neat once you're learning to work with it. So I'm working with it more and more, and I think we should all try, but just don't rely on it. Um, then let's see. Today we had our 34.99 call also. I love that. It's on Thursday mornings at 8 a.m. Central Time. The 34.99 level of the Patreon, we just meet together it's like a roundtable business meeting with just like your coworkers meeting before the big meeting type thing. We just talk about whatever comes up. Whether, what's working this week, what's not working this week. Do you have any questions? Would you like us to look at a listing? And we just bounce ideas off each other. And sometimes it's just like a topic comes up naturally and we just kind of toss it back and forth, and I love that call. I look forward to it every week. So um again, I'm going to do my very best to try to do some lunch and learns. So throw some topics at me that you'd want to hear about. I kind of struggle because I don't want to make this YouTube channel just about jewelry, but it is what I know inside and out. So I will probably maybe do one just for jewelry, but I don't know if I have enough people that would come, but that's okay. I don't really mind. But I want to try to do the store listing reviews, or maybe you just have one listing you want me to look at and help you price it and comp it and tell you what my thought process is on it. So I'll probably do that first. And then I may do one on like listing structures and titles because I can do that for jewelry and clothing fine. And I would do it both ways to show the differences if anybody was interested in that. And then maybe I'll do one on price comping and just do pricing strategies and how we price our items. And that could be interactive too, because I really want people to interact kind of like they would on a live. But if you don't want to show your face on the Zoom call, that's fine. You can just talk or whatever, but then we can share links and you can see my screen easy. And I just think it'd be fun to get to know everybody and for people to be able to participate for free, and there's no pressure to join the group. This is a community in itself here on YouTube. So I'd be happy to have you guys. Thanks for listening to me drone on about my week. I will be doing a what sold video like usual this week. My what solds are kind of boring, I feel like, because I'm literally right at that $5,000 mark every week. I'm consistent with eBay. eBay's consistent with me. So my mounts don't really vary much, but there's different items to learn from. So I'm going to try to do better about getting into like, why did I pick this item? Why did I price it the way I did? What was good about it? What's not so good about it? And just kind of talk about that. So I really appreciate you guys. Please like and subscribe if you haven't. Check out my Facebook page that is totally free, the Resell Revenue Facebook page, and you can follow along with us there. I'm trying to post more on there, be more interactive. But we have an Instagram page, Reseller Revenue, and of course on YouTube and the group on Patreon. So thank you much. I'll see you later.